We have a major problem with how we ramp new account executives. Your new AEs are being declared ramped at 3 or 6 months, but can they actually run discovery or execute the sales process without you jumping in to save them? Most can't, and that's the problem. Most sales teams ramp reps based on time in seat and not capability-based onboarding where you certify your new sellers. So I built a playbook full of frameworks, implementation roadmaps and infrastructure guides that cut ramp time in half and have proven to improve win rates by 75%, and it's completely free. So stop this episode right now and go and download the Sales Readiness Playbook at therevenueenabler.com or use the link in the description below. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Hit Your Numbers podcast. And today we have a different type of podcast episode, just like we did one recently with Emma. Today I am introducing you to another member of the team. Salva, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going well. Thank you for having me here, James.
No worries. Excited to have this conversation. And anyone that sees Salva in the business, online, his full name is Salvador, but for short it's Salva. Or if it's Emma, Salve, I think she calls you.
Yeah, she called me Salve. Yeah, I tend to shorten it to Salva, like since I was little, because every time I hear Salvador, it's like I'm in trouble. So it's still I got like that connection in my brain. But Salvador works. Whatever. If anyone sees me in the wild, Salvador, I will respond to that as well.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, the whole point of this episode is just to introduce you to, I know a lot of our customers listen to our podcast, but also other people that follow the podcast as well. So it'd be really cool just to introduce you to our customers and community before we do it formally with the relationships we have. So maybe you could just give the listeners, Salva, I don't know, really quick kind of high level overview, bit about your background, the roles that you've done, and then we'll kind of jump into the conversation. Does that sound good?
Sounds perfect. Yeah.
Cool.
So my background's been mostly focused on sales support with some direct sales experience. So I've been working in sales for about 12 years now. I started as an account manager or renewal specialist at the time. The definition was a bit more blurred. And I did that successfully. I, as you might have noticed, Spanish. And I actually worked with LATAM, with Spain, with all international at the time in a software company. And I moved through the ranks. I was given the chance to become a team lead. So I did that for 3 years, very rewarding, I had a team of about 8 people at one point. And I really, really enjoyed supporting them, coaching them to get better. On my side, it was all about post-sales. It was all about retention with some upsell on the side. And then moving forward to 2020, since then, I was given the chance to join the global support team as sales enablement manager. And then the role went from supporting global, and then as the team grew, I specialized in still LATAM because I could speak the language, but mostly Europe. And we did like Europe, Middle East, and I supported them doing a bit of everything. So from day-to-day support regarding systems to training and onboarding to new sales hires to more skill development and like delivering workshop for skill gaps. So you name it.
Yeah, love it. And I remember back from our interview process, I got you to almost like train me. And I deliberately picked something that was like, in most cases, you would say is like a new logo skill, which is like problem discovery, and absolutely nailed the delivery. Hence why you're here, because I'm pretty bullish on recruitment and things like that. But it just shows like a lot of your career has been spent after the initial transactions happened, and discovery doesn't stop. Discovery isn't a stage. It's something that happens throughout the customer's full life cycle, from initial conversation through to onboarding, through to value realization, through to expansion, renewal. And I think sometimes historically in business, we've maybe blurred that a little bit by having a stage in the sales CRM called discovery. So people are like, oh, tick a box. I've left that stage now. I don't need to ask any more questions. Right. Yeah. So it's definitely interesting to see that. So look, maybe tell the listeners a bit about what we're up to, because me, you, Emma, and Matt, we're absolutely heads down. Maybe let the audience understand a little bit about what are the projects we're working on, why are we doing some of those, and I'll kind of weave in as well.
Yeah, sounds great. So at the moment, like we are very deep down into like a process of maturing the content that we have, which is already great. We are working on Sales University and bringing the content there to a new level. That takes different shapes. So on the one side, we taking the content that already exists, that's proven successful and has supported a lot of sellers, like among all our clients, and we are making sure that the way that we deliver it, both visually and in terms of content, is as streamlined and engaging as possible. And then we are moving that content into a new version of that on-demand content that we have in the Sales University that will become the new staple. It will become that V2, the new version of the content. And from there, we'll continue evolving and maturing the content through more interaction, more support. And that interaction can be within the actual on-demand content, but also we're working towards bringing some live session to support that content that I myself, Emma, will be delivering, and we'll be going to support as much as possible and expand on the content as we know it today.
Yeah, 100%. And we're adding some really cool, exciting new learning programs as well, and courses, right, around like account hypothesis, how to engineer a point of view, commercial acumen. Something that took me 8 years to get training on when I joined BT. I think it's like two CFOs sat us down in headquarters that were external people, came in and spent 2 days teaching us how to read a budget sheet and a financial report and understand, top line revenue, EBITDA, all of that kind of stuff. So really exciting to deliver that to our customers and to the SDRs and AEs and account managers and CSMs, so they can really understand their customers better, their prospects better, so that when they talk to them, they can connect their capability and what they sell, and how they help their customers to make it hyper relevant to the organization that they're talking to. So you and Emma are doing some awesome work in the background, and we're not too far away from rolling that out to our members now, which is going to be super exciting. So yeah, and like for anyone who doesn't know, the Sales University, it's my baby. Like it's something I'm really passionate about. Anyone that follows the podcast or me on LinkedIn will know I talk about this all the time, but none of us get a degree in B2B sales. Like I stumbled into sales after working on a building site, and nobody sat me down and said, hey, this is how you do this is how you do that. Some of them thought they did, but it wasn't really what I needed and what they thought they were doing. And it took me like 8 years to get any formal sales training. BT made some big investments in its people, but then the reinforcement and things like that kind of held back the development and things like that. So when I became a VP of sales, I was like, I want to do the opposite. Do you know, like you see on like these Netflix documentaries where this is a terrible way of explaining it, but it's been a long day. But like you see like these things where these like terrible people, and it finds out their parents were like those people as well. So like you end up becoming the people you spend your time around. I didn't want to be that person, right? I won't name any of the characters, but we can all imagine the people that we watch on Netflix, and we're like, oh, that's terrible. But like you do become the people you spend your time around. The reason a lot of frontline managers are terrible trainers and coaches is because they didn't get the training and coaching they needed. So they just look up and they basically follow the playbook that the person above them follows. So when I became a VP, I was like, I want to do the complete opposite. I don't want to be the manager that I reported to. I want to be someone that inspires people, develops people, helps them, even if it means them leaving the organization, they build a really great career, because you can build a really great career and go to market. I just got really frustrated that there wasn't a platform out there where you could log into it and it said like, this is what you should do, this is why you should do it, this is when you should do it, and this is word for word how you should do it. So when I decided to quit my job and start this business like 3 months before our first baby was due, I was like, that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm literally just going to lock myself away, open up all my VP playbooks for different stages of the sales process, pre and post sales, and just start recording. And like, here we are, 450 lessons. And now all of the hard work is bringing those up to the same standards, which is a lot of work, but it'll be worth it. And you guys are doing a stellar job. So yeah, anyone that hasn't seen it before, drop me a DM or head over to the Readiness.com. There's a load of content in there. There's a 7-day free trial. and I know we're aligned on this, Salva, but there is nothing really that you can do that will have the same impact or anywhere near the same impact as acquiring the knowledge, implementing that knowledge, and closing those skill gaps than buying a new sales tool or whatever it might be, which is what so many people seem to spend their time on.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like there's no supplement, nothing that a tool can do for you that will um compensate the lack of knowledge. Like at the end of the day, and I've heard you say this before, James, as well. Like, if you just get a tool that does everything for you and what you do is wrong, it will just do the wrong thing like 10 times more efficiently, right? So, at the end of the day, it's definitely not something that you can just like let AI do it for you. Like, knowledge, like, same way that you were saying that discovery never ends, like, learning never ends. We can be seasoned professionals, seasoned salespeople with like 20 years of experience, 30 years of experience. And if you get complacent, you die. And it depends where you are in your journey. You might care less or more if you die, right? If you're about on the verge of retirement, maybe like you don't want to learn, and that's fair enough. But for many of our customers who are young sellers, people who have been on their job for many years, I want to get to the next stage, I want to get to a promotion, want to expand on the commission. Those are the people who we are really catering for. Like they want that understand the importance of continuous learning. And we have how many? 450 like
Yeah,
lessons that we have like content and growing. As you were saying, we've got hypothesis, we've got commercial acumen, we've got
yeah,
everything and more that's coming. So very exciting
yeah.
times.
Yeah, 100%. Like I don't know if you see it this way, but I see it like I watched this thing on Netflix once, NFL teams, and how like the head coach has these like big printed out laminate sheets. They're huge, and they got like a picture of the pitch on, and then they just like little black markers, and they're like drawing the plays. And like that's the playbook, right? They have the playbook. They map out the play, so they transfer the knowledge on the
Mhm.
training ground before the game happens. They say, look, if we're in this situation or whatever, we're going to run this play. And they call them like random words. So you can't letters. So you can't really make out like, we're going to run B4817Z. And like only the team knows what that is because they've got the knowledge. They've trained them on that stuff. Right. And then they coach them on it so they can execute at the highest level. So when like Super Bowl day comes around and they're, maybe a few points down, they huddle around and go, right, we're going to run this play. And it's literally just ownership and accountability. Now we know what to do and we've been coached and developed to be able to execute at the highest level. Now we just need to go and own it and just go and do it over and over and over again. And sometimes we'll win, sometimes we'll lose. If we do it more consistently, we will win more times than we lose. And I do feel like that's so close to sales is, can we transfer knowledge to somebody? Can we help them role play so they can swing the bat a load of times so they can implement the knowledge and develop the skills and become a capable seller, and then hold them accountable to go and do it consistently? And surprise, surprise, a lot of the reports on the dashboard go up and to the right. So yeah, it's not rocket science, but I think it does take an open mind
Hmm.
and being
Absolutely.
mature to know that maybe I do have some skill gaps and it's okay. Like I've got a bunch. I'm okay with that. I'm just working on closing them.
Everyone does. And I think like thinking that you don't have anything to learn is more a lack of awareness on yourself and your gaps rather than a reason to be proud of anything. And it's okay. We all have gaps, like we say. And at the end of the day, salespeople who do their job and they reach their target mostly regularly as well, they have some knowledge, but it's not just about having the knowledge, it's not just about the instinct, which it's great, that's a great building block. It's the game here is repeatability, is consistency, and at the end of the day you need to learn that. That's something that we're not taught at any point through our lives, is not taught at school. We're not built to be repeatable and build those skills, and through this knowledge, this platform that we're creating, it's how we actually support, not just to generate results, but be able to identify why we generate them and create doing so and tackling the same elements consistently.
Yeah, 100%. Look, we wanted this to be a fairly short episode, so maybe we'll get close to wrapping there. But if anyone's listening to this and they're genuinely interested in this kind of conversation, let either of us know because we will do a full like episode session talking about this stuff. Like me, you, Emma, we can talk about this for hours, right? We're passionate about it. We believe this is the real driver of revenue success. Yeah, we're happy to get into the weeds if you guys want us to. So thank you so much for listening, Salva. Really excited to work with you. And if you haven't already, go reach out to Salva. We'll put a link to his LinkedIn in the description. Go connect with him. Go say hi. Ask him a million questions. He's here to help. And we will see you on the next episode of the Hit Your Numbers podcast. All right, thanks for listening to this episode. I've got something else I want to give you before we wrap up here. So we've built the leading skill optimization platform with 400 plus sales lessons, 12 courses from prospecting all the way through to late stage deal negotiation and more, one-to-one sales coaching and AI sales assistance. And I want to give you 7 days free access to the platform. The reason I want to do this is because nobody gets a degree in B2B sales. And after training and coaching hundreds of sales reps and teams in the last 2 years, most haven't mastered critical selling skills. And it's preventing them from being promoted, earning great money, and building a great career in B2B sales. So go to the revenueenabler.com, grab a free trial, and join hundreds of salespeople that are closing their skill gaps and mastering sales. There's a link in the video description. I'm looking forward to getting you set up. Give me a shout with any questions.